A chilly afternoon in Graville was a small city where old and new coexisted in a delicate balance. Modern skyscrapers loomed over quaint family-owned shops, and everyone seemed to know each other. Yet beneath the charm of the city, there was an unspoken tension, one that rarely found a voice. That day, Dana Carter was simply going about her usual routine. Graceful and strong, Dana was the kind of woman who never sought attention, even though she was the wife of Police Commissioner Mark Carter. She preferred to live her life on her own terms, never leveraging her husband's position. She had just stepped out of her favorite cafe, her hands wrapped around the warmth of her coffee cup. The air was cold, and the streets were busy. Everyone hurried along, heads down, lost in their own world. As Dana walked toward her car parked just steps away, two police officers, Blake and Thomas, approached her abruptly. Their sudden appearance startled her, their sharp, cold gazes scanning her from head to toe. "Excuse me, ma'am," Blake said in a curt, stern voice. "We need to ask you a few questions." Dana stopped, her calm demeanor hiding her confusion. "Is there a problem, officers?" she asked, her voice steady. Thomas stepped closer, his tone authoritative. "We received reports of suspicious activity in the area. We need to search you." Dana frowned, her confusion deepening. "Suspicious activity? I just left the cafe. What makes you think I have anything to do with that?" Blake crossed his arms, his expression smug. "Are you refusing a search?" Dana's heart began to race, though her voice remained composed. "I'm not refusing, but I don't understand why you suspect me. Do you have any reason to think I've done something wrong?" Thomas moved in closer, handcuffs glinting in his hand. "Turn around, ma'am. Don't make this harder than it has to be." The world around her seemed to slow. People on the sidewalk pretended not to see, their eyes fixed on the ground as they walked by. Dana's instincts told her not to resist. Slowly, reluctantly, she turned, feeling the cold steel of the cuffs snap around her wrists. Thomas searched her coat and handbag aggressively, while humiliation swept over her like a wave. She had done nothing wrong, yet here she was, treated like a criminal. When the search yielded nothing, Blake sneered. "You're sure you're not hiding anything?" Dana's composure cracked slightly, but her voice stayed firm. "I'd like to call my husband." Blake let out a mocking laugh. "Go ahead. Who is he anyway?" With trembling hands, Dana pulled out her phone and dialed. After just 2 rings, a deep, commanding voice answered. "Dana, what's wrong?" It was Mark Carter, the police commissioner. "Mark, I'm at Olive and Maple. The officers stopped me. They searched me. I haven't done anything." There was a brief silence on the line before Mark responded, his voice low and controlled. "I'll be there in 5 minutes. Stay calm." Time seemed to crawl as Dana stood there, trying to maintain her composure. Suddenly, a black SUV pulled up, screeching to a halt. The door swung open, and out stepped Mark Carter, tall, imposing, and unmistakably in charge. The murmurs of passers-by grew louder as they watched the unfolding scene. "Commissioner Carter," Blake stammered, his face paling. Mark's sharp gaze cut through him like ice. "Why did you stop my wife?" Thomas swallowed hard, his voice faltering. "Sir, we received a report of suspicious activity. She matched the description." Mark's eyes narrowed. "Matched the description of what? Did she resist? Did she threaten you?" "No, sir," Thomas muttered, barely audible. Mark stepped closer, his tone cold and deliberate. "So tell me, what was her crime? Was it because she's a black woman standing on a street corner? Is that what made her suspicious to you?" The silence was deafening. The crowd grew larger, their whispers spreading like wildfire. Mark pulled out his phone and dialed swiftly. "I want officers Blake and Thomas placed under immediate investigation. Suspend them from duty until further notice." Blake's face went white. "Sir, we didn't mean—" "You didn't mean to what?" Mark interrupted sharply. "Didn't mean to harass her? Didn't mean to treat her like she was less than human? Or didn't mean to get caught?" Thomas, who had remained silent until then, took a shaky step forward. "It was a mistake, sir. We were just doing our job." Mark's gaze hardened. A mistake? That mistake could have ended far worse. Is that your excuse? The tension in the air was suffocating. Minutes later, internal affairs officers arrived, pulling Blake and Thomas aside for questioning. The two officers, once confident, now looked small and broken. Dana watched quietly from beside Mark, the humiliation still fresh but eased by a sense of justice being served. Mark turned to her, his expression softening. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. Dana nodded, though her voice trembled. "I'm fine. I just didn't know what to do." "You did the right thing," Mark replied, placing an arm protectively around her shoulders. "This won't happen again." As they walked away, the people of Gravel stood in silence, processing what they had just witnessed. It was a day the city would not soon forget, a day when two officers learned that no one, not even the police, is above the law. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. And if you want to hear more powerful stories like this, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Each week, we'll bring you tales that not only captivate, but also inspire.